One really cool thing about this lifestyle is after you get a sawmill, you'll never look at a tree the same way. I now know that this is an eastern hop hornbeam. It's called hop because the seeds look like hops. And these leaves look very much like an elm, but they're symmetrical on the bottom where an elm would be asymmetrical. We call it an ironwood here, but now I know a lot more about this tree than I ever did before, and a lot of other trees. So that's a cool little side effect of owning a sawmill. This video is gonna be for any of you that are thinking about buying a sawmill. You might be on the fence, you're not quite sure. And I'm gonna talk about the lifestyle of owning a sawmill. Because honestly, cutting into a log and finding that beautiful board that's stuck inside that log, that's the most rewarding part of owning a sawmill. It's why we do it, but there's a lot of other stuff behind the scene that goes on that I want to talk about. For example, it's going to be 100 degrees today, so I'm out here in the morning trying to get a little work done before it gets super hot. And the first thing I find is that the tire is off the bead on the tractor. So that means instead of running the sawmill like I wanted to do, I'm actually going to spend the morning trying to get the tire back on the bead. And for you that have put a bead back on a tire, you know that's not the most fun. Sorry about the fog, that heat is just fogging up my lens. So this is what I'm talking about. The tire's off the bead, which means I'm gonna have to go get the air compressor, a ratchet strap, maybe some grease, bring it all back down here and try to get this thing to pop back on the bead. Not what I wanted to do this morning, but that's part of owning a sawmill. In fact, equipment is part of owning a sawmill. I run a very lean operation. Got this tractor, which I use to put logs on the mill. I just use basically a jib pole to be able to pick them up and throw them on there. I want to get forks for it eventually, but I don't have those right now. And we've got our RTV, which I use to haul gear. And also I have a homemade logging trailer. I got a video on how I built that. And I use that logging trailer to gather logs from the timber and get them up here. This is the main chainsaw that I use. This is a Stihl MS310. Nothing fancy about this thing, but it gets the job done. And the point is, all these things require maintenance. Between these two pieces of equipment and my logging trailer, that's 10 tires that can go bad and need replaced or the bead put back on. Of course, these both need oil changes. They have hydraulic fluid, gear oil. And of course, there's the mechanical side where something can break and you need to fix that. When it comes to the chainsaw, obviously the chain needs sharpened and a little bit of maintenance. Chainsaws are pretty tough, but they do break down. So if you own a sawmill, you've obviously got sawmill blades and they don't last very long. You replace a lot of these, so you can either resharpen them yourselves or send them somewhere and have them resharpened, but that's something that costs money and time. Of course, you've got an engine, super reliable engine on this one, but it requires oil changes periodically, spark plug, air filter, things like that. The actual sawmill has bearings in it, and it's a mechanical machine, so things will break over time. And then the bed needs flattened every once in a while. So there is maintenance. It's not too bad on this, but when you have lots of equipment, eventually every time you come out to work on it, there's a potential for something that's gonna need your attention. When you make cuts on the sawmill, you end up with waste wood, slab wood, sawdust. We burn wood for heat, so like this is black cherry. This will make really beautiful firewood that's gonna smell good. So that's what this will be. This will be firewood. We'll just cut it up. And as you can see over there, we've got a firewood pile that we've been splitting. So there's a log splitter. That's another piece of equipment. And one of the most challenging parts of owning a sawmill is actually getting the wood to the mill. Logging, felling trees, things like that. That's actually a whole lifestyle in itself. Obviously, there's people that only do that. I'm definitely no expert at felling trees or logging, but it's something that's part of owning a sawmill. So that's become part of the lifestyle for me too. I actually enjoy doing it, but it's a ton of work. Now, I'm not trying to make you afraid of buying a sawmill if that's really what you think you want to do. I just want you to be aware of everything that goes along with it. If you've already got the equipment or you know you want to do this type of stuff or you already do this type of stuff, then by all means, get a sawmill because look at this. It's a beautiful summer morning. It's gonna be hot today, but right now it's really nice. I'm out here, you can hear all the bugs chirping, the locusts, the sunrise coming up on the trees over here in the sawmill. To me, it's beautiful. Other than putting the tire back on the tractor, I'm not looking forward to that. Another thing to consider is how are you gonna run your sawmill, because you could have a very crazy big operation with employees, a lot of equipment, or you could even go way leaner than I am. Maybe you only cut stuff that people bring to you. That's something I think about all the time is what kind of systems do you have in place to make the lifestyle more fun, less fun? If you spend all your time just working on equipment it's not really going to be that much fun, where if you spend most of your time running the mill, it's a lot more fun. When you cut your own wood, you also have to dry wood, and that's a whole deal in itself. It requires these stickers which go in between the boards so you get airflow and they can dry nicely and not mold and have all these problems. So that means you have to cut stickers all the time, which is not that much fun, but it's a part of it. And the other thing is you have to find flat areas to set your wood and dry it. So I've got piles like this laying around all over the timber, and what I'm gonna do is build a big platform that's perfectly flat with a roof over it. So when I go to dry wood, I can just put it on there and not think about it too much. I don't have to mess with covering it up with metal because it'll be out of the sunshine. I don't know about you, but to me, this is a beautiful lifestyle. If you got any value at all out of this video, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and check out this video if you're still on the fence, and we'll see you in the next video. I gotta go fix this tractor tire now, so time to get dirty. First of all,